Hello you guys. So today I am going on a date, so I thought I would get ready with you guys and let you see me get ready for my date. I probably won't do a lot of makeup. I typically don't do a lot of makeup for dates or anything. I'm kind of like an all natural type of girl unless I'm going to like a fancy event or it's winter and fall. But in the summer, I'm a bare-faced honey because it's too hot to be doing all that. It just is. And I live in the South. It is 90 degrees or above every day in the summer, whether it's raining or not. Okay? And nobody got time for that. But anyway, I'm gonna start off with some chapstick because she's struggling. I got like a little cold from one of my friend's kids and it gave me a little cold, so I'm a little chapped and dry over here because my body trying to get healthy again. Let's start with that. I'm gonna try to do as minimal editing as possible so I can get this video up as soon as possible, but I just wanted to chat with you guys and also just get ready for a date because I actually haven't been on a date in a long time. Because recently I told the universe or God or whatever you believe in that I don't want to be in this like game anymore, and if things are not for me, don't even let it get to the point of a relationship. So, and ever since I asked that of the universe, it has come through. Okay, like dates would just like automatically get like canceled, something will happen and like the date couldn't fall through. Like one guy, he got stuck in traffic for like an hour and literally he like FaceTimed me. He was like, I literally am stuck in traffic, and he was trying to get to the date and it took him over an hour, and I was hungry, so I was like, I'm gonna just eat, and I left. And I didn't really talk to him anymore because I kind of took that as a sign. Like, if it's meant to be, it wouldn't always be so tumultuous, because I think we tried to go on a date like twice, and then both times it just like could not happen. And so I was like, I asked the universe, if it's not for me, make it hard to date, and that's what it's been doing. And that's happened multiple times. Like literally since I asked for that, I have not been on a date since. And so I think the universe is listening to me and just not gonna let anything happen that isn't for me. So we'll see if this date happens. I might just end up taking myself out to lunch. So we'll see, but let's get started. I have my makeup. I already cleansed my skin. I use my Pixi milk lotion, my milk cleanser and lotion set, and I use this, I don't know, it's just this kind of serum that's supposed to make your moisturizer sink into your skin a lot better, and so I use that, and that's it. So I'm going to use sunscreen. I have Supergoop, but Supergoop makes your skin a little sticky, and I like using this under foundation because I feel like it just like makes your foundation stick better. I think I'm not going to use this, and instead, all right, so instead I'm going to use this Sun Bum 70 SPF face sunscreen. So just a little bit of that. There's something on my finger. More. So all I have is moisturizer on. And I'm just gonna bring that down my décolletage area too, because this is like all exposed today. Your neck is, and your hands are something that ages first on your body. So sunscreen. I really don't know what I want to do with my makeup, if anything at all. Let me see if I can. I'm not gonna wear my hair out because it's just too hot for that, but I think I'm just going to like a little bit like smooth it out. just like get these. There we go. Get these. This might be a long video because we're already at 10 minutes. But I have some shoes that I have as options for what I should wear today. There's these brown shoes and also these black ones that I have. So you guys help me choose which shoes should I wear, or at least give me your opinion. You can't really help me choose because the date will be over the time you choose anything. But just let me know which one you prefer. I'm gonna bring both shoes because I have things I want to do after the date. So, and the flats of course is gonna be better for after the date, but during the date we'll probably wear the brown heels. Okay, I think that's how we're gonna look. So I wanted to talk about a little bit like dealing with like disordered eating, because I recently just posted that video of me like having a setback during like my weight loss journey, stuff like that. And I also want to bring some context to that. I just don't want to post that with no context. So like it is so hard to talk about having dealt with an eating disorder when you're a person that is in like an overweight body or a person who wasn't sick looking. But growing up, I really struggled with my body image and weight. People commented on my body all the time simply because I had a sister. She was 4'9" and she always weighed under 100 pounds. I don't think she weighed above 100 pounds until she was an adult, like over 20, and probably after she had her kid. So people always compared us and people always acted like I was fat, and honestly I was not. Looking back at photos of myself when I was in high school, middle school, people really acted like I was fat just because my sister was so skinny compared to me. And I have such a weird concept of body image and like have a weird thing with like body dysmorphia, because I don't see myself the way that other people see me, because people would always tell me what my body looked like and I didn't see it. So I never know if I can trust myself or how I feel about my body, because I don't understand how people see me compared to how I see me. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's the truth. So like it's really difficult for me to deal with my body issues because I had a severe eating disorder, like to where I had symptoms. Like as you can see, like hair in my hair is not as thick. And I used to think, oh, because I got braids one time when I was like 10, and when I took it out, like this was like thin. But it's because I've been dealing with eating disorder since middle school. Like the hair did fall out, but it never grew back, and the follicles got so messed up because I was already deep in the eating disorder and I was already losing hair. So like it happened on both temples, but this side is not as bad as this side. And it was because I was starving myself. I wouldn't eat for days. I remember I was on Color Guard, and you know how you used to perform on like asphalt. If you ever done Color Guard, we would practice on asphalt, hot. We were burnt. Everyone was burnt, using a bottle of sunscreen every week. And I would eat in the morning time. I would eat nothing. I would wait all the way to lunch to finally eat, and I would allow myself to get a sandwich. I used to either get the chicken sandwich at my school with nothing on it, no mayo, maybe ketchup, but mayonnaise was too much fat. And I would just eat the sandwich, no fries, no side, nothing, just a sandwich. Or I would allow myself to eat a half of a salad, because they gave us like these huge salads. If you got a salad with like ranch or whatever, I would only eat half of it. That was my lunch. And then before practice, I would do my homework and stuff, and I would allow myself one bag of Cheetos, because that was like my favorite chips that we had in the vending machine. So one bag of Cheetos, and that was like my whole day of food. So yeah, she was not okay. So just because you look a certain way doesn't mean you don't have an eating disorder, and I just want to say that. But I think I'm done. I literally did nothing. But I don't know if I'll post this. My camera just died, so while I was charging it, I texted the guy that I'm supposed to be going on a date with, and he said that his kid got kicked out of daycare, blah blah blah. So we're not gonna go on our date, but I'm gonna just take that as a sign, as it's just simply not meant to be. I'm a person that integrity is really important to me, and like, if something like that were to happen to me, the first thing on my mind, if I really wanted to go out with you, is to be like, oh, I'm like, when it happens, oh, I'm so sorry. In no situation should someone else have to contact me to like explain why I'm not following through on my part of the deal. To me, not acceptable. That is not something I want to do, and that's not a relationship I want to be in. Like, I've experienced that enough in my life. I hold myself up to a high standard, and I expect my partner to also do the same thing. So like, that is not gonna roll with me. I'm just like, I understand like shit happens, and probably I'm not the first thing on your mind when something like that happens, because I mean, you don't know me. But I would want someone who wants to date me enough where they care that on like how they leave a first impression on me. Like, what if I didn't text you and I showed up at the date and you just never came? How is that acceptable? No, it's not. So I'm just gonna take that as a sign. As I told you guys, like literally when I asked the universe to like not let me go on dates that's not meant for me, they have been falling through tenfold. Like, I have yet to be on a date with a guy since I asked for that. I don't know if that was like a bad thing or a good thing, but I have yet to be on a date since I asked for the universe to not allow me to go on dates with men that are not for me. And now that just happened, like literally that is crazy. But anyway, I'm still gonna take myself out, because why not? Why not take myself out? I deserve a nice meal. I deserve to treat myself. So I'm gonna take myself out, and I'm probably also going to watch a movie on Netflix as well, because like, why not? So that's gonna be our plan for the day. I did also want to talk about like dealing with eating disorders as a person who is not in a skinny body, because I feel like it's something that a lot of people don't talk about. When you talk about anorexia and bulimia, you normally see it from people who have been underweight, and they have the proof in their body that is what happened to them, and that was a disorder that they dealt with. But I dealt with it, and I've actually, when I was in college, I went to, you know how like those colleges will have like an on-campus therapist, like you can go to the health center if you're dealing with depression when going to university, stuff like that. Because a lot of people, when they do go to college, they deal with a lot of transitional woes, and they do have on-campus like help if you go to a big university. And I went to a big university, so when I went there, they did tell me that I exhibit signs of anorexia and bulimia, and I'm more likely than not to have it. I did not get tested for it because you would have had to pay for it, but my therapist decided she will treat me as if I do have it, because I have literally every sign of it except for the physical one. And at that time I did get, when I say physical one, I mean that I wasn't extremely underweight, to a weight where I was maybe like 130, 120. And just as a frame of reference, I have always had big boobs. My boobs have always looked like this on my body, no matter what size I was. So when I was at my lowest weight, you could see my bones, even though if you saw me about, you didn't think she was underweight, because if I wore a big t-shirt, you would just think I was heavier because my boobs are so big and I have broader shoulders. So you would just think, oh yeah, she's just a normal body. And I didn't seem sick, but I used to get acne on my face. Like I used to get this huge pimple right here a lot. I lost hair. I started getting, I don't know what this, I looked up this word. It's called pulsatile tenteus. Pulsatile tenteus. I'm gonna write it up there. And it's actually when you can hear swooshing of your heart rate in your ears. I developed that. I would faint, especially when I was on my period. If I got into a hot shower, I would feel faint, and I usually would only be able to take a shower for 5 minutes while I was on my period before I had to step out, sit on the toilet, like regain myself, and then go back in. And I used to think that was normal. Like I didn't think nothing was wrong with me just because I was in like I was not underweight, okay? I was like still in normal weight range for people, but I had a lot of symptoms of anorexia and bulimia, but people wouldn't know. And even to this day, people would say harmful things. Like if I open up to people, they don't intentionally say that, but oh, you were never underweight. Or when you're a sick person, especially with the eating disorder, those little comments are not a compliment. I do not receive that, because I feel like the anorexia and bulimia in me feel like I failed at doing it right. Like I wasn't sick enough. Because when you're in it, you want to be at the sickest person there. That's why so many people who have anorexia go on anorexia forums and stuff like that. And the thing that even pushed me into veganism when I first got into it was a lot of people who were anorexic used veganism as a way to recover from the anorexia. And me, my mental disordered brain and my eating disordered brain was like, oh, this will be easier for me to lose weight on this diet. I can get even skinnier than I am now if I ate this way. And I was in that mindset for a good like 6 months of it, but I realized how poor my body was feeling, and I just stopped. I remained vegan because I do believe in animal rights and all that, and I've always been like a highly compassionate person. So I still am vegan to this day, but I started eating in a way that made my body feel good, and I was getting enough food, enough well-rounded calories and stuff like that in my diet. But I used to over-exercise. I would eat 1,500 calories a day, and also ride my bike from campus to my house, which is about a mile every day uphill. Going to my home was like, from the campus to my home was a straight uphill distance for a mile. The hill was a mile long upwards, and I would ride to school and back every day. And then I would come home, do my homework, and then go to the gym afterwards at around 10 o'clock for an hour. And I would run a mile on the treadmill at 7 miles per hour, do the Stairmaster for 15 minutes, and I would run the racetrack and do another mile with the racetrack on 1,500 calories a day. And that's when I first became vegan. I dealt with anorexia and bulimia for a long time, and people to this day invalidate me because I was never skinny enough or I didn't look sick enough. And it's because a lot of people wish that they could be anorexic. I remember being envious of people being able to starve themselves longer than I was able to starve myself. And I think a lot of women think like that, and it's not good or healthy. And I wanted to leave off with at least talking a little bit about disordered eating in an overweight body or in a normal body, and how people illegitimize your disease simply because you don't look like how they would want you to look, being that sick, or that they wish they could, or validating those illnesses for themselves in their minds. Like, I can do everything that an anorexic person does, but as long as I'm not severely underweight, I'm not anorexic. And that is not true. You can be anorexic, bulimic, a binge eater, any kind of other eating disorder with no relation to your body. Your body does not affect any of that. It's mostly a mental thing, and if you're exhibiting those signs of those disorders, you might have it. And it is perfectly safe to self-diagnose with these disorders. Yes, it is. You should if you think so, because sometimes having that diagnosis can make you feel confident enough to start treating yourself. And I will not say that I'm cured. There are so many days when I jump on the scale and I don't want to eat that day, or I want to work off every calorie that I ate that day, or I want to weigh myself multiple times a day to see how much I gained after I eat each meal. There's so many things, even in a healthier body, because I'm not extremely overweight, but I am in a thicker body these days, and I still deal with having these anorexic thoughts. And some days, if I overeat and I'm actually feeling full and satiated, I think about throwing up sometimes. Like, these things still affect me, and these thought patterns that I had when I was younger still affect me, and it's a daily battle not to succumb to them every second. Like, they're not easy. But I guess I'll end that here. I'm gonna go get me something delicious to eat, not nutritious. It's not gonna be a healthy meal. And I'm okay with that. I'm gonna treat myself. It's Friday, and honestly, I don't need to justify eating unhealthy. let's backtrack that. I don't need any justification to want to have a vegan spicy chicken sandwich. I do not need to justify that. If I wanted it, regardless if I'm in a thick body or a skinny body, I should just go ahead and get it. I'm not abusing it just having one a day. So let's backpedal that, because I was about to say something like orthorexic in like a not healthy mindset. But yeah, I'm gonna go eat something and get me something delicious to eat, and I'm gonna come home and watch some Netflix. I probably will get the food for takeout so I can, like, you know, chill out and eat the food while I watch the movie. But yeah, that was an interesting conversation. It just went from like, oh, I'm going on a date, oh, my date stood me up, and oh, anorexia, bulimia. But yeah, if you like this content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.